Amid the global debate over women's rights, there are still places where these voices can seem distant. In one of the most conservative Muslim countries in the world, women's lives are tightly controlled by strict laws and traditions, depriving them of many of the freedoms that others take for granted. In today's video, we explore the harsh realities faced by women in Iran, where the fight for identity, freedom, and dignity is as relentless as the call to prayer. Let's get started. In the heart of one of the world's strictest Muslim countries lies the Iran Mall, a massive symbol of ambition and contradiction. This colossal shopping center, larger even than Dubai Mall, sprawls over 10 million square feet. But why would a nation under severe international sanctions, cut off from many global brands, need such an immense space? The answer begins in a brief period of hope during Barack Obama's presidency, when Iran agreed to increase transparency in its nuclear program. In return, the United States eased some sanctions, sparking a wave of optimism that led to the construction of the Iran Mall. However, the election of Donald Trump brought renewed tensions and stricter sanctions, casting a shadow over the mall's future. Yet the Iran Mall thrives. Inside, a library, mosque, skating rink, hotel, and hundreds of shops filled with domestic brands bustle with life. Surprisingly, logos like Samsung and Apple are visible, even though these companies don't officially trade in Iran. Their products, smuggled in, are sold at steep prices, making them luxury items. An iPhone 13, for instance, costs around $2,000, affordable only to a privileged few, while many Iranians, focused on essentials, continue using decade-old phones. Despite the sanctions, nearly all restricted brands find their way into Iran. Everything from perfumes to luxury clothing is available, with prices often on par with those in the West. Clothing dominates the mall, with nearly 60% made locally, mimicking Western styles. Genuine items from brands like Nike and Adidas occasionally appear, though they are rare. This modern scene contrasts sharply with Iran 50 years ago. In the year 1970s, Iran was a different world, with women in miniskirts, men in bell-bottom jeans, and the streets alive with the latest Western trends. The Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, embraced Westernization, transforming Tehran into a city as stylish as Paris or New York. But beneath the glamour, discontent festered. Political repression, poverty, and unemployment plagued the country. The Shah's failure to invest oil wealth in his people led to the year 1979 Islamic Revolution. Today, even a simple trip to a grocery store in Iran is a unique experience. Global brands are rare, replaced by local imitations. A bottle of ketchup might look like Heinz, but the label reads Heinz. Yet, amid these knockoffs, there are surprises, like Coca-Cola with a distinctly Iranian twist. Iran's decades of sanctions are epitomized by a former U.S. embassy building, now a museum of propaganda. Here, in the year 1979, Iranian students took 66 Americans hostage, demanding the Shah's extradition. The standoff lasted 444 days, leaving deep scars that still shape U.S.-Iran relations. The embassy-turned-museum is a stark reminder of this painful chapter, with its walls adorned with defaced portraits of U.S. presidents and relics of espionage, echoing a history that continues to resonate. What do you think the Iran Mall really symbolizes to Iranians today? A beacon of hope and resilience, or a stark reminder of the country's complex struggles? Comment and chat with me. In Iran, tattoos exist in a precarious and uncertain space. Although not outright banned, they are deeply frowned upon due to Islamic teachings that deem altering the human body, created by God, as forbidden. Despite this, tattoos persist in Iranian society, but with strict limitations. Tattoo artists can only work with clients of the same gender, and tattooing minors is strictly prohibited. Yet, adults who choose to get inked face harsh societal consequences. Those with visible tattoos often struggle to find employment, as employers may view them as mentally unstable, sometimes even requiring psychological evaluations. The stigma surrounding tattoos in Iran is so intense that they are often associated with self-harm or mental illness. Melina, a courageous tattoo artist, challenges these norms. Covered in tattoos and piercings, she pursued her passion with unwavering determination, taking 4 years to open her own studio. But running a tattoo business in Iran is fraught with challenges. Melina's studio operates in secrecy, with no signs or advertisements, relying solely on word of mouth and discreet mentions on social media. The business lacks legal recognition, leaving artists vulnerable. If a client refuses to pay, there is no legal recourse, and the police won't intervene. Authorities have inspected Melina's studio multiple times to ensure nothing immoral is occurring. Moreover, Iranians seeking a driver's license must undergo a body inspection, where visible tattoos can trigger a mandatory psychological assessment. If deemed mentally fit, they might receive a driver's license valid for only a year or two. This is the harsh reality for those who dare to express themselves through body art in one of the world's most restrictive societies. So how do women live their daily lives according to such strict social norms? Before you find out, if you can help me, it will only take 10 seconds for you to hit that subscribe button. In return, we promise to continue making the show even better for you. Deal? On the streets of Tehran, defiance breathes through small, brave acts. A young woman walks, her hair unfettered by a headscarf, catching the wind. Another woman, smiling at the camera, walks close behind. A couple on a bike rides by, the woman's hand resting gently on her partner's leg. In Iran, where girls as young as 9 must cover their heads in public, these simple gestures are acts of courage, risking fines, imprisonment, or worse. Even the casual act of loosely draping a scarf over one's shoulders while enjoying ice cream can invite harsh punishment. In September 2022, the world was shaken by the tragic death of Mahsa Amini. Arrested by the regime's morality police for allegedly wearing her headscarf improperly, Mahsa was brutally beaten, leaving her in a coma. She died on September 16th. Outrage followed as images of her unconscious body flooded social media, sparking protests outside the hospital where she took her last breath. Within days, Iran erupted. Women tore off their hijabs, set them ablaze, and chanted Mahsa and women, life, freedom in unison. Some cut their hair in mourning and defiance. By the end of September, protests had turned violent. Fires raged in the streets, and government buildings faced the fury of a population demanding not just justice for Mahsa, but an end to the oppressive hijab law and the regime itself. Iran's laws are among the most stringent and, many argue, inhumane in the world. Death penalties are meted out not only for murder but for acts like infidelity. The world responded with a wave of solidarity. Women from every corner, actresses, politicians, and activists cut their hair and shared their acts of support on social media, standing with the women of Iran. The societal pressure doesn't only come from within. External events have also shaped the landscape of resistance in Iran. But what does the reality of protest look like in one of the world's most controlled environments? In one of the world's most repressive nations, the fight for women's rights has reached a breaking point. Elnaz Rikabi, a climber who competed without a hijab in protest, ignited a wave of unprecedented demonstrations across Iran. The year 2022 FIFA World Cup saw Iranian fans wearing T-shirts with the image of Mahsa Amini, whose death in police custody became a rallying cry for resistance. This uprising, the largest in modern Iranian history, was met with brutal government force. The United Nations reported that at least 14,000 were arrested, and Human Rights Watch confirmed 458 deaths as authorities cracked down. Images of police beating protesters, firing tear gas, and even using live ammunition became tragically common. Despite this violence, the protests continued until December. Although the immediate goals of these protests weren't achieved, the hijab laws remain, and Mahsa Amini's family still waits for justice. Something has fundamentally shifted in Iran. In Tehran, it's now common to see mothers wearing headscarves alongside daughters who choose not to. As a foreigner, I often drape a headscarf over my shoulders, pulling it up only when necessary. My conservative dress is more about caution than fear. Since the protests, the police seem less aggressive toward women defying the hijab mandate in public. However, this shift reflects a change in tactics, not policy. Authorities now use traffic cameras to identify women driving without headscarves, leading to potential fines, car impoundment, or sale restrictions. Some citizens, clinging to traditional values, also report women who defy the mandate. The irony is that many women wear their hijabs only while driving, removing them as soon as they step out of their cars. The Iranian government has also made travel more dangerous for foreigners. Countries like the United States, Great Britain, and Ireland have issued strong warnings against visiting Iran, citing risks of kidnapping and arbitrary detention. The tension between Iran and the U.S. remains high, urging travelers to be extremely cautious. The struggle for women's rights in Iran is far from over. Life for women in this strictest of Muslim countries continues to evolve in complex and often contradictory ways. Life in Tehran is a balancing act between the chaos of the streets and the unyielding grip of societal rules. But how do the people of Tehran manage this daily struggle? In the heart of Tehran, life pulses with a raw intensity that's hard to imagine. The streets are a battleground of honking horns and reckless maneuvers, where drivers weave through chaos, ignoring red lights, and cutting across lanes with a nerve that seems born of desperation. Crossing the street is a daring act, a negotiation with fate. Pedestrians must plead with drivers for a sliver of mercy, waving hands and offering apologies as they navigate a relentless stream of cars and motorbikes. Yet, amidst this chaos, some move with effortless grace, like one man who strides through the madness with calm confidence, undeterred by the roaring traffic. The sidewalks overflow with people, each one battling their own struggle. Young men strain under the weight of heavy boxes in the bustling markets, where entire streets are crammed with shops selling only car lights, batteries, or sticky tape. Every shelf is packed, a testament to the small shopkeepers who survive despite the crushing economic hardships. In this vibrant marketplace, young girls sell chewing gum, earning a few dollars to support their families. Their small hands and tired eyes tell the story of a childhood lost to necessity. Nearby, the glare of polished copper dishes catches the eye, while books spread out on cardboard tell another tale. Works by Iranian authors sit beside Orwell's 1984, a bitter irony in a country where censorship looms large. Tehran's traffic isn't just chaos, it's a reflection of the country's struggles. Most cars are relics, over a decade old, while the rare luxury vehicles belong to those untouched by sanctions and taxes. New cars from international brands are almost mythical, accessible only to the wealthy. This is Tehran, a city of contradictions where what is allowed clashes with what is forbidden. Sami, a Tehran native, survives with a dark humor that masks the heavy burden of living under strict rules and constant watch. In this city, resilience is more than survival, it's an art form, perfected by navigating both the streets and life with a mix of determination and cynicism. In the heart of Iran, Sami navigates the streets in his battered, 2-decade-old Sapa, which he jokingly calls his Cadillac, a nod to the harsh economic realities where only the fortunate few can afford a new car. Inflation has soared to 50% in the past year, reducing the value of the rial so drastically that a cup of coffee now costs 1,000,000 rials. The exchange rates are a maze of confusion, with locals quoting prices in tomans, a unit that equals 10 rials, adding to the complexity for visitors. Government restrictions on foreign currency purchases, capped at $2,000 per year, have driven people to the black market, where dealers offer better rates than banks. Sanctions have cut off global payment systems like Visa and MasterCard, forcing Iran to rely on its domestic Shidab network. Visitors receive local cards, sometimes loaded with cryptocurrency, to navigate the economy where cash is rarely used due to the massive stacks of bills required. A modest dinner might set you back 8 million rials, just $15. Gasoline is astonishingly cheap at 37 cents per gallon, making Iran one of the cheapest places in the world for fuel. Public transportation in Tehran is a lifeline for millions, with the subway offering clean, modern rides for just a few cents. Women often choose female-only carriages for a more comfortable journey amid the city's chaotic traffic. Despite heavy internet censorship, locals find ways to connect, even as VPNs fail and social media platforms like Instagram are blocked. Ironically, even the country's top officials maintain Instagram accounts, with the supreme leader amassing millions of followers. But to truly understand the weight of these challenges, we must step back in time. How did Iran evolve from a society with Western influences to one governed by strict Islamic law? In the years before the Islamic Revolution of the year 1979, Iran was a nation torn between modernity and tradition. The Shah, instead of investing in roads or railways, squandered the country's wealth on luxury goods, imported alcohol, and outdated military equipment. One man, known as MTI, remembers this era well. He recalls a time when freedom and peace flourished, though criticism of the government was brutally suppressed. The revolution was a moment of profound change. Thousands of Iranians, disillusioned by the Shah's pro-American policies and perceived moral decay, took to the streets. They rallied behind Ayatollah Khomeini, a charismatic leader who promised to transform Iran into a true Islamic republic. Their cries for freedom, equality, and fraternity swept away the old regime, ushering in a strict Islamic state that quickly banned music, dancing, and films and severely restricted women's rights. The revolution's anti-American sentiment still echoes today, vividly portrayed on the walls of the former U.S. Embassy in Tehran. One mural shows an American diplomat, blood-stained and corrupt, facing an Iranian representative. Another reimagines the U.S. coat of arms, with the bald eagle clutching bullets and syringes, instead of peace symbols, surrounded by depictions of American vices like drugs, guns, and dirty money. Yet, amid these symbols of hostility, young Iranian women without hijabs can be seen smoking and enjoying snacks, small but powerful acts of defiance in a society that enforces strict rules on women. Now, let's return to the present, where the hijab has become more than just a piece of cloth. It's a symbol of resistance, of a movement that has captured the world's attention. The hijab revolution, ignited in 2022 by the tragic death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini, shook the nation to its core. What began as a protest against the compulsory hijab quickly became a cry for change, revealing a deeper struggle for freedom. This movement is not just about clothing, it's about a generation no longer paralyzed by fear, raising another that refuses to be silenced. Young Iranians, like Hosi, find the strength to defy oppressive norms, inspired by their parents' bravery. Hosi is not just a university student, she's a symbol of resistance in a society that stifles even the simplest forms of self-expression. With her black nail polish, crop top, and skinny pants, her appearance may seem ordinary, but in Iran, it's an act of defiance. Showing her midriff in public is more dangerous than leaving her head uncovered. Yet, within the privacy of their homes, many young women, like Hosi, choose to dress freely. As a junior at the University of Tehran, Hosi witnessed the student protest that erupted in September 2022. The powerful chants of woman life, freedom echoed through the campus, uniting students in a profound display of solidarity and resistance. Fluent in English and French, and a talented singer who plays piano and guitar, Hosi dreams of a life beyond Iran's borders. Yet, in a country where women are banned from performing on stage or sharing their voices, their dreams are stifled. Hosi's story is one of many, illustrating the harsh realities faced by women in Iran. Through their courage and resilience, these women are slowly chipping away at the walls that confine them, determined to reshape their future. In one of the world's most repressive countries, women endure suffocating restrictions that dominate every aspect of their lives. These rules, rooted in a harsh interpretation of religion, aim to control what is seen as enticing to men. Women are forbidden from singing or performing alone, fearing their voices might attract attention. In Iran, they can only sing if accompanied by a man, a stark symbol of gender inequality. But the oppression extends far beyond music. Women can't travel abroad without a male guardian's permission, whether father, husband, or brother. They are banned from performing on stage, rapping, or even riding motorcycles and bicycles. Public displays of affection, like kissing a boyfriend, are strictly forbidden, as is appearing in public without a hijab. The Iranian legal system enforces these rules with brutal severity. In early 2023, a young couple, both just 21, were sentenced to 10 years in prison for the simple act of dancing together in public. The video of them holding hands with the woman's head uncovered led to charges of promoting corruption and colluding against national security. Tehran, despite these harsh laws, appears deceptively normal, with people rushing to work and daily life bustling. Yet the fear of security forces is ever present. While filming this report, I was suddenly confronted by plainclothes officers and interrogated for over an hour under the scorching sun. The encounter was a chilling reminder of the risks of revealing the reality of life in Iran. Since the Islamic Revolution in the year 1979, alcohol has been completely banned, with severe penalties for violators, fines, long prison terms, and even corporal punishment. In the year 2012, 2 men were executed for repeatedly consuming alcohol, a crime punishable by death. Despite the dangers, underground parties thrive in private homes, where alcohol flows freely. At one such gathering, guests enjoyed homemade alcohol and a bottle of Jack Daniels bought on the black market for $80 dollars. These secret celebrations, seemingly free, contrast sharply with the oppressive reality outside. Hosts, like many Iranians, wrestle with the idea of leaving the country, torn between a desire for freedom and ties to family and friends. The contradictions in Iranian society are striking. Public life is tightly controlled, while private spaces become sanctuaries of rebellion. In these hidden gatherings, people drink, dance, and speak their minds, living a double life, publicly conforming, privately defying. For many, this duality is a source of deep frustration. They wonder why they can't openly live by their beliefs if those beliefs harm no one. Yet, in the face of relentless restrictions, the resilience of the Iranian people shines through. They find ways to celebrate life, even in the darkest of circumstances, preserving a culture of warmth, hospitality, and deep social bonds. As an outsider, witnessing this side of Iran is both astonishing and sobering. Despite everything being forbidden, nearly anything is possible with the right connections. The people's ability to navigate these complexities is a testament to their strength and resourcefulness, revealing a reality far more nuanced and vibrant than outsiders might imagine. If you liked today's video, please give me a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel Globe Go. Your support means a lot to us. Click on the video that appears on your screen now. I am sure you will like this content. Comment below with the next country you'd like to see featured on our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.